Bob, welcome back to the Cream of the Crop 4th and 31 podcast, your one-stop shop for all things SEC and college football. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a minute. And 83% of you are still not subscribed. Guys, we can do better. Just hit the subscribe button. It takes literally 2 seconds. And again, I'll wait. I'll give you a few seconds. Got it? Cool. All right. I'm your host, part of the Killer Bees broadcasting team, the Chad Bolick, along with the guy who got another name. Golly, the producer, Scott. Scott, how's it going? You got a new name tonight.
Good, man. Yeah, I like to change it up from time to time. It's boring being the same all the time, right? I like to mix it up.
I hear you. All right, Mob. We got a good and a fun show tonight. We're gonna go over kind of our picks for the first round. Then we're gonna get a little bit into this transfer portal nonsense, and then last, Scott's got some questions from the mob, and we call this interrogated by the mob. It's something I just came up with, so hit the like. That's pretty good. All right.
That is.
Well, let's get started with these first round games. First one tomorrow night. It's here. It's finally here. Bama at OU. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on ABC. Winner goes to the Rose Bowl. Producer, I will let you start. What you got?
All right. Well, here we go. I'm glad we opened the show with this one. Let's think back, Bama fans. Older, younger, doesn't matter. The younger generation really isn't used to losing. They're not used to having these struggle wins and things like that. Over the last 17, 18 years, we've been kind of spoiled. It's kind of funny watching Bama going. Chad, when can you remember Bama ever going into a high-pressured playoff, type scenario and Bama actually being the underdog? I mean, really.
Few and far between.
Yeah,
very few
it's,
and very
it's,
far
it's been
between.
quite a minute. Bama's going into this. They've changed the spread again, and now they've given the points to Oklahoma. This is the third time I think they've done that in the last 2 weeks. So now points are back in favor of Oklahoma to win the game above Vegas. But Bama's going into this thing with a lot of back against the wall. Let's talk about this too. Outside of Alabama fans, nobody else wants them here. Nobody else believes they should have been in the playoff. That adds more fuel to the fire of Alabama going into this game. A lot is against. It's like Bama against the world. We're Tupac right now. It's us against the world, and that's the way it is. We're going into this thing, and we're not expected to win, nor are we wanted to. Everybody else is kind of. ESPN's already been on. I mean, everybody's picking Oklahoma to win this game. Not too many people have much faith in DeBoer and Alabama this week. And with that said, Bama comes in here, and when you look at the first game with these two, Bama outdid everything. They offensively, Bama. When you look at the numbers, and then you say, "Wait a minute, Oklahoma won the game." It's one of those things. Bama did everything they should have done to win that game, outside of the 3 turnovers. If one of those 3 turnovers don't happen, Bama wins the game. Am I wrong? I mean,
No,
really,
you're right.
One less turnover, Bama wins that game, right? So with that said, give me Oklahoma. I'm taking Oklahoma. The Boar is 0-2 at Alabama against vegetables, so I'm taking Oklahoma in this one. DeBoer's got to prove to me that he can beat Oklahoma. And until then, I'm taking Oklahoma. So Boomer Sooner. Am I pulling for Bama? Absolutely. You may even want to call this a little reverse psychology, right? Yes, I want Bama to win the game. But until he beats him, until he can, and they got to go to Norman as well. This game is in Norman. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be, so this game is not going to be a blowout either way. Both of these offenses are struggling. Both of these defenses are great. It's going to be a good defensive game, probably a field goal game. But I'm taking Oklahoma in this one until Bama can prove me wrong. Bama, prove me wrong, please. What you got,
All
Chad?
right. All right. Well, let me say this. Oklahoma should be favored. There's no doubt about that. So I'll say this. I'll give you just a glimmer of hope for Alabama, and I've got it pulled up here. And I know I'm going to take a hit in the comments. Honestly, I don't care. Okay, Jam Miller, back and healthy. Josh Cuevas, our best middle of the field receiver, back and healthy. Cam Dewberry, Parker Brailsford, two of our best offensive linemen, back and healthy. Dijon Lee, corner, back and healthy. And more importantly, Justin Jefferson and Kawhi Russo, two of our best linebackers, back and healthy. So, with that being said, I will never pick against Bama. Never. I don't care if they're 80-point underdogs. I just can't do it. That's just me. I got too much Bama in me, Paul. So, I'm going to pick Bama to win. Now, with that being said, would I be surprised if Oklahoma wins? No. They've got the best defense in the SEC and the best defense in the country, honestly.
Right.
But I'm going to go in there. I'm going to get behind my boys, and I think we can pull this out. And I'll say this: the winner of this game gets to go and prove the Big Ten wrong.
Right.
So Sooners, if you win this, I will be pulling for you 100% to beat Indiana. No questions asked.
Let me add this real quick. I do think that and this is probably the Bama in me, I do think Bama has a better chance of beating Indiana than Oklahoma does. Now, it's kind of wild saying that after what I just said, but I do firmly believe that. I got to feel like Indiana's pulling for Oklahoma here. But do I think Alabama could beat Indiana? That's another topic for another day. But I feel like Indiana's. I like the side of the bracket Alabama's on. I do. I think it's the easier side of the bracket overall,
and so should Oklahoma.
Right. So I think whoever wins this game, they're not out of it. I don't think it's an automatic loss on the next round.
Oh, absolutely not.
No. And I kind of differ from that. I did, I've kind of lightened up on that, because if you would have asked me that maybe even a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I would have told you, no, that's not going to happen. Indiana's going to take the side of the bracket, at least second round. But no, I'm looking forward to this game, man. Come on, Bama. I'm begging you. Prove me wrong, DeBoer. Prove me wrong, Grub. Prove me wrong.
He's got to prove you wrong sooner or later, huh?
Nah.
But look, Oklahoma fans, we have to unite after this game. This is for the common good of the conference. Whoever wins this game, we should pull for the other one, because I'll be pulling for you in the Rose Bowl. If you win, and I hope it's the other way, if we should come in there and win. But I think it's going to be a great game. Norman, Oklahoma is a great place to play. It's just one of those Elite Eight schools. So I'm not going to say anything bad about Oklahoma, because, outside of the SEC, when they were in the Big 12, I always pulled for Oklahoma. I liked them, even though, they think they own us. But hopefully we'll prove that wrong tomorrow night. All right. Let's move on to the Saturday games. First up, you got Miami at Texas A&M. That's 11 a.m. on ABC. Winner of that goes to the Cotton Bowl. Scott, what you got?
This one is, I think, the best game of the four first round games. I think this is my favorite of the four. And it's honestly because it's so intriguing. I call this the Notre Dame Bowl. Yeah, let's give them some love, because they're rent free in here, right?
Yeah, so, rent free.
Yeah,
Lucky Charms Bowl.
Both these teams beat Notre Dame this year, and they happen to be playing each other in the first round that Notre Dame's not in.
Hey, sometimes it just writes itself.
It does, right? It's just there. It's just so easy. But I'm stoked about this game, and it's really hard. I've battled back and forth. Y'all have heard me say, if you've been watching on this show, about how high I am on A&M. A couple weeks ago, I said this game's going to come down to quarterback play for both teams, but I think Beck is the ultimate factor in this game. Beck's one of those quarterbacks that if he throws a pick, he's going to throw another one, and probably another one. If he can get through the first half clean, then I think Miami's got a dang good shot of winning this game. And that's where I want to go, but the SEC in me won't allow me to do it. I'm going to take A&M in this game. I'm taking the Aggies, but I'm not at all going to be surprised if Beck can keep it clean the Hurricanes can win this matchup. I really do believe they can, and they very well might. So it's like I said, it's a slight lean towards A&M, but it's only because I'm an SEC homer. I'm honest. That's the way it is. And A&M has a really good offense, and their defense is really good too. So they've got some studs on that defense. So I'm really anxious to see this game. This is my favorite. Again, this is my favorite game of the week.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Besides, of course, these guys playing. If Bama wasn't in this tournament, this would be the game I'd want to watch. I mean, this is going to be great. And like you, I'm an SEC homer. I am going to lean A&M, but again, would I be surprised if Miami wins? No, they're a damn good football team. Um, I hope the SEC wins all their games. That's just how I am. But I do think if you look at the way A&M ended the season, they kind of had that crap first half versus South Carolina. They played much better, but then you had the loss to your hated in-state rival. I think for a team that's 11-1, I think they have a big chip on their shoulder to go out there and
Sure.
kind of prove that the
Mm-hmm.
second half, the back half of their season ain't going to tank like it has been.
Sure.
Now,
Yeah.
obviously, it didn't. They finished 11-1, but they did lose their last game. So do you
Right,
want
I
to
was
go ahead
gonna
and
say,
lose your
Right.
yeah? Do you
The
want to
last
lose your
time they
last
were on
two
the
games?
field.
Yeah,
Right. The last time they were on the field, they took an L. So and
Yeah.
that's still there. It's still fresh. That's another reason I'm taking A&M.
yeah. And then that defense from A&M. I just think they're going to turn this up. I think it may be a close at half. But I just think that A&M defense is just going to come to play in the second half and just suffocate them. I hope,
Very
because like
well
we
could.
said, we're both SEC homers. I'm going to take A&M, maybe by 10. I think they could pull ahead late, but this is going to be a great game, very close. But yeah, I'll take the Aggies.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to Tulane at Ole Miss. That's the 2:30 game, and this game is not on ABC. You want to know what channel this game's on?
I didn't even realize that. Where's it coming on at?
From what I read on ESPN, this game's on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. I don't know. So
All
the winner of
right.
this, yeah, that's weird. It's like the NCAA tournament. This makes no sense. There must be a couple of bowl games or something on. I don't know.
How does that even happen? First round playoff game with Tulane and Ole Miss.
It don't get any better after
Wow.
this one. But the winner of
Yeah.
this goes to the Sugar Bowl. Um, I think this is going to be a repeat of the first game. I just think Ole Miss goes up
Yeah.
and down the field on them, mops the floor, whatever you want to say, hotty toddy, SEC,
Right.
all that good stuff. I think Chambliss is just going to have a field day against Tulane.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I think this is going to get ugly. Halftime, uh, they may even play the backup quarterback in the second half. I'm gonna put that bold prediction out there.
Well,
Producer, what you got?
the way I look at this game is, these players just lost their head coach. Lane took off. I'm sure there's some animosity. I'm sure there's some blood flowing pretty good in that locker room right now. And they're not being taken seriously now because Lane left. So I feel like they can use that to their advantage and go out there. And I'm not necessarily talking about Tulane. I'm talking about because we know. I think this is going to be a freaking 50-point game. I think Ole Miss is going to go out there and just blow them out of the water.
BTA.
Yeah, man, this is definitely going to be a BTA. And a lot of people will be, looking at Ole Miss like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, Lane did leave. These guys seemed a little pissed off, and they came out there and just beat the brakes off Tulane. Maybe we should start taking them a little bit more seriously. They actually make some noise in this playoff. So just don't be surprised if that's the talk next week when this happens, because I do think that I don't even know. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. Tulane might not even score, and I'm talking about Ole Miss's defense. Okay, because now their defensive coordinator is their head coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I firmly believe. We don't think much of old Golden, but he's done well. He's done well at Ole Miss. He has. I'm not. He has. I feel like he's done better at Ole Miss than he ever did at Bama.
Yeah.
So I expect them to go in there and blow some things up Saturday, and the talk's going to start. And they're going to say, "Wait a minute, we kind of moved Ole Miss down down the pike here because, Lane left. Well, the players are still out there. As far as I know, everybody's still there, right? And everybody's still playing. Nobody's threatened to transfer and sit out, right? This is happening. They haven't lost anybody outside of Lane. So I firmly believe Ole Miss goes out there, does what they do, been doing all year. It will look no different. Chambliss is still the quarterback, and as long as that's the case, I don't see Ole Miss dropping the ball anywhere. And you're going to hear a lot of noise next week about how we were overlooking Ole Miss because of Lane. They got a point to prove. They can do this. They can do it.
Yeah, and 2 quick points. You just said that Ole Miss will pitch a shutout. Our irony would be if Tulane scores on their opening possession. The second thing is, as much as us Alabama fans didn't really like Golding, wouldn't that be ironic if OU wins and he gets a playoff victory as a head coach in his very first time getting it? Boy, would that be? Hey, that would be sweet irony.
I wouldn't be mad. I'm pulling for him. I am. I'm pulling for Pete Golden. Go do it, man. I mean, I'd like to see them make some noise. I don't want them to go out, at least too early in the playoff. But no, man, go Golden.
Yeah, and then if Ole Miss does win this, which we both think they will, they got a rematch with Georgia, and that could be a fun one, New Year's Day. All right, let's switch gears to the other perceived blowout. Is the James Madison goes to Autzen. That's a 6:30 game, and that one's also on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. I don't get it. Anyway, the winner of that goes to the Orange to face Texas Tech. Scott, what you got?
Okay, see, I didn't know either one of these. Okay, see, this is mind-blowing to me. I didn't know these two games weren't. Okay, wait a minute. Even more reason to get rid of this G5 bullcrap. Please, can we get on? You're not even going to put them on a major network? I mean, really? We've got to find the game now? You know what I mean? Like, really? We're going to do this? Get rid of the damn G5. Get rid of them. If we're going to do this, get rid of the G5. We could have had two other teams. We could have had Notre Dame and Texas or whoever else you wanted to throw in that was just missed out in this playoff. And I guarantee you they'd have been on ABC, ESPN. They would have been somewhere we can find the game. We wouldn't have to go digging for it somewhere, and try to find it. Like, we'll know right where it is, where all the other games usually are on a hot Saturday. I mean, why are we doing this? G5, bye. Get them out. This is just ridiculous. I mean, no, I'm sorry. I know I've got to make a pick here. Oregon.
Hey, and I'll say this real quick. I got this off of ESPN, off the app. So I copied this as I saw it on ESPN. Now, hopefully, it's probably too soon to change, so it's probably going to be on those channels anyway. So good luck finding it. I don't even know what channel those are on.
Right. I mean, we're less than 48 hours away from those games. So that's probably set, and here we are. But I mean, Oregon's going to win the game and by a lot. I think. I don't even know if I want to give a score, but I mean, at least three to four scores. I think Oregon wins easy. I don't think this game's ever going to be in danger of Oregon losing. Just hurry up and get to the second round with these last two games we talked about. That's where I'm at, because this is just a waste of time, and you're not even on a major network. That makes no sense to me. None. You already put G5 in here who has no business being here, and now we're going to have to search for the channel that it's on, and it's not on a major network. I mean, it's like you're answering your own question. Like, get it together. Get it together. This is not good TV. This is a waste of time. A lot of people aren't even going to watch. These ratings are going to suck. And that's probably why they're on the networks they're on, because they're going to have a better bowl game or something else on TV that night that is going to get more ratings. That's ridiculous because this is the first round of the NCAA playoffs, the CFP playoffs.
Yeah, we're not talking about practice. Round.
Right. This is playoffs. And you mean to tell me you're worried about ratings, so you moved them to you bumped them off to another network? Like, you got to be kidding me right now. Get rid of the G5 again. Just one more reason next to the 500,000 we've said in this channel for the last month. Get him out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the last time we kind of went over these games, I thought James Madison may come out hot, get a touchdown on their opener. Oregon responds, gets a touchdown. James Madison comes back, gets a field goal. It's 10-7 James Madison. They take a picture of the scoreboard because it ain't that close to the rest of the game. I see Oregon maybe going up 35-10 at half and then winning maybe like 49-17 or something
Right.
like that.
That's
the
about
longer
right.
the longer that game goes, the bigger that deficit's going to get for James Madison. And then, when the ratings are tanked because they let in two group of five teams, um, hopefully they'll correct this mistake that they did
Do
this year
something.
because
Right.
this is not going to be good football. All right.
Right.
Now we're going to go into some uncharted territory here on the 4th and 31 podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about the transfer portal. We got a few to talk about. Actually, there's been quite a few jump in the portal. Dylan Raiola, Nebraska quarterback. Scott, what you think about him? Do you think he's got where do you think he may go?
Miami Hurricanes. I think he goes to the Miami Hurricanes. That's got a funny feeling that's where he's headed. Think about it, man. In Nebraska, what the hell is in Nebraska? I mean,
Corn.
I'm not trashing Nebraska. Y'all relax, calm down. I'm just saying there's not a whole lot there um, for kids like him to do. I mean, if he's to go down there shopping and he ends up in Miami, I mean, he's going to be blown away. That city of Miami. I just, from a guy who's coming from Nebraska, he can go to Miami and win tomorrow. He's a damn good quarterback, and they're going to need one. Beck's gone. So after this year, I mean, I could totally see him going there, and that's where I'm picking him to go. I think that's where he's going to end up. I've heard other teams are interested, but I got a funny feeling he's going to end up in Miami.
Yeah, I thought I heard maybe Louisville would have a shot at him. Um, Either way, it's a better situation for him. I mean, I hate
Oh
it.
yeah,
And Nebraska, just for a second, I hate that they're not what they were. Because
I
back in the
know.
day, when
'90s, yeah,
yeah, we're about to show how old we are. Because it was
right,
fun watching them in the Orange Bowl take on Miami and Florida State, and then finally win a
yeah.
national championship. And
They were so
it's
good. They were so good.
it's crazy how far off that program's fallen over the past 20 years. And
Right.
to me, it's one of it needs to be studied. There needs to be a ESPN 30 for 30 on Nebraska.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
crazy to me
Yeah,
how bad they are now. All right, let's move
yeah.
on to another one. He was in our league in the SEC. DJ Lagway from Florida. What you think on him?
I don't know if he'll end up in a Power Four. Um, I mean, I could see him going to a G5. Um, maybe. I think he'd probably do better there. I do think he'll be a decent NFL quarterback if this were to happen. Go somewhere where he can prosper, look good, uh, get better at his game, is better at his craft. I think that would help. Uh, I just, I got a feeling it's not going to be a Power Four, and if it is, it'll be one of the lower tier, maybe Big Ten schools. Uh, I don't see him coming back to the SEC. I don't see that being a thing. But I don't want to put a school on him, but I think maybe he drops down to a G5. If he were to end up somewhere like James Madison, I think I think he'd prosper there, and he'd be able to get his draft stock up and make a good run at the NFL. Because I do think he'll be. I don't want to call him the next stud for the NFL, but I do think he'd be a decent. I think he'd be decent in the NFL if he had the right training and the right people helping him. I think he could definitely do it. So I'm thinking G5 somewhere, and maybe James Madison ish. I'm not
Yeah,
quite sure what class that quarterback's in, but I think he's a senior.
he seems like he is.
I think so, but I could see him doing something like that. You know,
Yeah. I had one looking on the internet. One had him going to Clemson. So unless Dabo starts taking them, uh, portal people, then
right?
I think he could go to the ACC and be successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe.
there's not a lot of world beaters over there, but I
No.
mean, we'll have to see on him. But I'm going to say Clemson just because I did just a smidgen of
Yeah.
look perusing the internet, as we say. All right,
Right.
let's go into Sam Levitt, Arizona State. I have him going to Indiana. I
Oh,
think Indiana would be good for him. That would give Indiana another like stud
okay.
quarterback and possibly
Yeah.
back-to-back Heisman's, maybe.
Yeah. You know what?
You know,
That's awesome. I never put that. That was
yeah,
not going to be my pick, but yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes sense, Chad. That was a good pick.
yeah, hmm,
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
amazing what you can find on the internet when you when you actually look for stuff.
Yeah.
What you got on Sam Levitt? You got
See,
anything on
whereas
him?
I had him coming, making a decision, having to make a decision between LSU and Georgia because they're both going to need quarterbacks next year. And I just don't, that's what I had him coming down. I think Lane will go hard after him. I really do. I could definitely see that. If I had to pick one, I'd say LSU. So
Okay,
you threw
that's
Indiana in there. See, that was a curveball, Chad. I didn't
yeah.
see that one coming. That's very good. That they should definitely be in play. Definitely be in play.
Well, I figured Underwood would go back to LSU. That was just me. I
A
figured he
lot.
would.
I've heard a few people say that. I just don't know if.
Now,
And I
granted, he
know
wasn't he wasn't great at Michigan by no means, but
no. But what could Lane do with him? You know what I mean? And
yeah,
with me, it's with Underwood. It's more. He committed to LSU and then bailed for more money at Michigan. So I don't know. I don't know where that if that fence is mended. If you understand what I'm saying,
well, it was a different regime though. I could see that
it
being
was
wiped clean.
it was. But we know
Eh,
people in LSU.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I just maybe if. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I just can't. For some reason, I have a hard time believing he's going back to LSU. I just do.
I'm not saying he is. I just figured, since that's where he came from, new
Yeah.
coach, Kiffin could probably turn him into a superstar if he wanted to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe that
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So that's what I said. All right, let's do one more in-conference quarterback who just announced not too long ago. That's Bo Pribula from Missouri, leaving Missouri. Any thoughts on this one? Because this one's kind of just so close. He just announced
Yeah.
a few hours ago, so I don't even know if he had any offers or if he's talked to anybody or because you know
Yeah.
all
This
that stuff goes on.
right. Well, this is the first I'm hearing about it. I didn't even know until you just said it.
Yeah. Well,
That's
breaking
very
news:
interesting. Right.
Pibula out at Missouri.
So, wow. Well, hell, maybe he ends up, you know, with whatever's open between. Man, wow. I could see
I,
him at Georgia.
yeah,
He's kind of got that. He's kind of got that. Brand always talks about that Georgia grit quarterback. I mean, he's got
yeah,
it.
yeah,
He kind of fixed that mold. I can see him at Georgia.
yeah. I don't know what Georgia has behind Stockton, but if they need somebody just to fill in a gap until they can get the other guys going, then
Right.
good God,
Right.
Pibula would be perfect for that for them.
Yeah, yes, he would. I agree.
All
I
right,
agree.
two receivers in the transfer portal that I would love Alabama to get, and both of them are from Little Brother Auburn. Malcolm Simmons, Perry Thompson. Now, Malcolm Simmons is your deep threat. Perry Thompson, I think, could convert to tight end, an area of need for Alabama. Now, I know they got the tight end from Oklahoma State. He's not a catching tight end, he's a blocking
Right.
tight end. And we're going to
Right.
need somebody who's athletic like Cuevas to kind of take his spot.
I
Um,
like I like Perry, and I'm not sure about. I think we've already got the speed.
yeah.
We've got the downfield guys already. I'd kind of be surprised if either one of them came to Bama, honestly. Uh, but if I had to pick, I'd take Perry because he fits that. Man, we like those Cuevas type, those big bodied out there. Even Bernard's not little. And he loves that middle of the field, man. I feel like that's where he prospers. But those big body receivers that can, get those contested check catches and get spend some time in the middle of the field. I think Perry fits that. So if we had to pick one, I'd pick him. But kind of at the end of the day, I don't know if we'll end up with either one of them. But it's interesting that they're out there. What's going on over at Auburn? How many more guys leave? But yeah,
they just lost a kicker. They just lost a kicker too, and God knows we need a kicker. Good God. And then the only other one that I noticed from Auburn that I would love to have at Bama is Antonio Coleman, defensive lineman.
Yeah,
I would love to have that guy. And
is he going in the portal?
Yeah, he's in the portal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he'd be good to have. Yeah, we'll take him overall.
Yeah, they also, and the only other one from Auburn that I liked was Jay. I hate to turn this into an Alabama recruit segment, but
right.
No, Jay Crawford, the defensive back, he had a fairly solid year.
Yeah,
I'm sure he was a backup, but those were the ones I had. Did you have any you wanted to add, or do we need to get to our brand new segment that we're about to do?
Let's go to the new segment because I think we covered the portal good.
All right, Mob. We have a new segment called Interrogation by the Mob, where you send us questions. You've got questions, we've got answers. I don't know whose slogan that is, but don't sue me.
All right, guys. So on the first question we're taking, again, thank you guys for sending us questions. We love to answer them here. We want to do this more often. So anytime you have any questions and you see us on social media, just whatever video, whatever picture you're posting under, whatever you want, ask us a question. We'll come right on the show right here. We'll answer it for you. But Nicole, this was for you. You had asked, what do you guys think about restructuring, adding a commissioner, whom undoubtedly would be Saban? What do you think about that, Chad? Restructuring and adding a commissioner.
I think it's vastly needed because NCAA has had no power over their own kind of over their own jurisdiction in 40 years, really. I mean, what do they do? What does the NCAA do? Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
They don't do nothing.
They just collect checks. That's it.
They collect checks. They don't punish anybody. I mean, you had a cheating scandal go on a couple of years ago. You did nothing. I mean, that's fine.
Right.
I think you've done set the precedent for it. So you can't punish anybody else for stealing signs. So, I mean, that's my question. What has the NCAA done? They have no power. That's just me.
Yeah. All right. And then Nicole came back, continuing with the questions. She said, I would like to hear your thoughts on having a time period where the transfer portal opens and closes. What are you thinking about the transfer portal in terms of, times it opens, times it closes, how many portals are there? What are your thoughts on how they are now and how would you like them to change?
Transfer portal only open in the off season. It should be opened after the bowl games, for maybe 2 weeks, after spring practice for 2 weeks, and then maybe a week before or a couple weeks before fall camp starts. I mean, it doesn't need to be open for 6 months of the year. I mean, right. I don't know exactly how it's open now, but that's got to be contained. I mean, this ain't the Wild West where we're just trading players and you go here, you go here.
Right.
It's got to be more structured.
Absolutely.
I mean, just for the sanctity of college football. My God.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I don't like how it's opening, and then it's open on the 2nd, and I think that goes to the 11th. Am I right on that?
That sounds right.
And then, but they reopen it back up for the people who were in the playoffs for an additional week or so, or 2 weeks. And I just, like you said a second ago, do this when the season's over. Wait till the entire playoffs are done. We have a champion, and then open the portal.
Yes.
And then maybe again after, or either right before, or right after the spring practice, and then again maybe midsummer, but before you start your fall camp. Once fall camp starts, I feel like that door should be closed, that window should be shut, and you're locked in wherever you're at, and that portal's not going to open again until the season is over and we have a champion.
Yeah,
You
from
know,
August to January, that portal should not be open.
right. All right, and then she follows it up with, and I really, really want to talk about what I really want y'all to talk about is schools being allowed to talk to coaches about jobs mid-season.
No,
Right.
I kind of had this rant a couple of weeks ago, and I certainly don't mind ranting again because this one makes no sense to me. College football is the only sport where you can talk to a coach like this. Well, not only talk to him, but leave for the other team during
Mm-hmm.
season. If you want to fire your coach mid-October, go ahead. Guess what? You ain't getting one until that team's season is over. So if
Right.
LSU wants Lane Kiffin, guess what? You're going to have to wait till he's done with the playoffs because this
Right.
is absolutely asinine that we're
Yes.
allowing coaches to jump ship at the end of the season.
Right.
I mean, like I said, this is the only sport in any sport that allows this to happen, and that's got to stop.
No, I mean, I look at I'm a big NFL guy, and I know those rules well. You're not allowed to talk to the head coach till the season's over. I mean, period. Now, even if say you've got a coordinator who's looking to get a head coaching job, that team that's looking for a coach, if you're in the playoffs, has to ask the head coach and the owner or whoever else, hey, can we have an interview with, Bob, your offensive coordinator? Okay, great. But they have to ask permission to do that. But head coaches don't get talked to. They're not going anywhere. They don't have these conversations. This isn't taking place. But you remember back to Saban being with the Dolphins, Alabama was talking to Nick Saban, obviously, because they're college and they intertwine. They're not, they don't follow the same rules. But it was college. Here comes college intervening with pro to get their coach. College has always been this way, and it's just. And I know it's Lane Kiffin, and it was blown out of proportion because it was Lane Kiffin. If this had been anybody else, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, honestly. But Lane Kiffin is a troll. Lane Kiffin he's all out there. He puts all of it out there for all of us to see, even whether it's true or not. He's doing it. So I take that in consideration. But because of that,
Well,
I'll
say this. To me, it don't matter who it was. If that team was in the playoffs and their coach left in the playoffs, I still think that's a big deal. But I think it exploded because of who it was, obviously.
Right.
But even if that was, Iowa taking Oregon's head coach, which that's not going to happen. But if that was to happen, I think that's just as big a deal. But because it was Kiffin, yeah, it gets blown up. But that should not happen.
It's still wrong. It's still wrong, and it shouldn't have ever happened, right? Regardless of who it was.
I mean, could you imagine in the NFL last year the Saints are looking for a coach? They go to Kansas City and say, "Hey, we want Reed." Reed says, "All right, I'll come to New Orleans." He's gone. They ain't even started the playoffs yet.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine that working out in the NFL? And I know this ain't the NFL; it's college, but it's the same thing, though.
Same, right?
It shouldn't happen,
right? And there needs to be more. I wish the powers that be in college football would look at the NFL, and it's like they refuse. There's a lot of stuff in the NFL I don't agree with, a lot, but it's structured. I wish that we would come to I wish our playoff system was more set up like the NFL. You could take. You have the power, you have the conferences, right? And you got 2 Eastern conferences, 2 Western conferences, or whatever, however you want to geographically do it. Set it up like the NFL's, and I think that would be perfect. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there you can take. I don't know why they've never done it. Money, I'm sure. It's because it all goes back to money in college football. But the good old boy days are over, and we need to evolve. And we haven't. I feel like we're on the brink of that happening with so much that's been happening just over the last couple of years with an NIL, and now, playoff is always going to be a drama, soap opera every year, because you're always going to have the ones that didn't get in that felt like they should have, and the ones that got in, everybody feels like they shouldn't have. You're always going to have that going on. I don't want to get to the March Madness NCAA bracket. I don't want to do that, you know. And I feel like, and I kind of feel like that's kind of the direction we're going. I'm really hoping that does not happen, but I think that I think we need structure. I think we need a commissioner. I'm not necessarily saying Nick Saban, but that's kind of been the ongoing thing since he retired. I would not be against that, obviously, because I do think he'd be the best man for the job. And I think he could formulate a college football committee that could actually do the rankings correctly, you know, but it starts with that person. We need that one person, that one commissioner to set things in play and to be able to help the product, man, because I feel like it's kind of crumbling a little bit. It's interesting, and I love college football, but there's just so many things that are broken that need to be fixed, and and it's a recent thing. I mean, it seems like, you know, ever since the NIL thing happened, it's just kind of gradually gotten out of control. And then this year, like Nicole asked, with a coach heading out of town before we can even get to, you know, postseason. I mean, that's kind of wild to me. So I'm hoping things change. I'm hoping.
Well, the thing you were talking about with the NFL, I mean, it's easy for the NFL. You got 32 teams. You know, I don't think you can necessarily do that exact model, but what you can do is something we've talked about. Get the Power Four. You're over here. You get your own playoff. That would work for them because you only have. Because I mean, it's hard to have that type of NFL playoff when you got like 16 teams in 4 different conferences. Group of 5. See ya. Have your own playoff.
Right.
You know, and then that way you don't have all this. Well, we got left out, even though we lost to a team that's in the playoff bull crap. You know, I think that would help it a lot because the Power 5 honestly took 2 playoff spots away from 2 deserving teams who have a legitimate beef of not being in.
I'd be okay with each conference having their own little playoff and the champions of those playoffs play each other in a playoff, you know, and get your world champion, get your national championship. You know what I mean?
Within the playoff.
Right. And that way, and then one of these titty babies that don't like to see SEC versus SEC, you know, you don't have to worry about that. You'll have one SEC team, one Big Ten team, one ACC team, one Big 12 team, one Big Ten. I mean, it just makes sense, you know, and you could set it up like that and have a playoff within all of your conference champions only. I mean, does that not sound like an idea?
Hey, works for me.
Sounds better than having to go hunt down Tulane and Ole Miss on the Cartoon Network.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
no, I mean, it's an idea. The only problem I would have with that is, I mean, who was the 4th best team in the ACC this year? Duke, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do with that?
But like I said, if you had your own conference playoff, right? You had a playoff within your conference. You know, even if it's just like four of your best teams, right? Then you're going to get the best out of the 4 when you're done, right? Regardless of what their record is. You know, you take your best 4 teams in your conference, you put them in a playoff, and that winner is the champion of that conference, and they are the ones representing that conference in the playoff. I don't think that, that wouldn't that be right? You've got no matter what, you've got your best team from your conference in the playoff, and gives your conference the best chance to win a championship.
Yeah, but you also played 9 games during the year to figure that out. That's my only hang up with that. So if you go 9-0 in SEC play, you're telling me you're not the best team in the conference? I mean, you got to win 2 more games, and you're probably playing a team you already beat. So that'd be my only playing devil's advocate. Why should I have to beat a team twice in that scenario to prove I'm the best?
And that's a big SEC problem. You can't say that about any other conference. You can't. I mean, how often have you seen, you know, Indiana play Oregon more than one time, or if at all?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those good teams over there in the Big Ten don't play each other. They don't.
All right.
They don't see each other till the playoffs.
There's a reason for that, Big Ten. Let us have it.
Right.
You know it. We know it.
Right.
Your teams are protected.
They very well. Very well. But hey, SEC's, you know, we're all living in the past. Well, God, the comments I've read on TikTok have just been outstanding. I love you guys over on TikTok.
Come on, Big Ten fans.
Yeah.
Let us have it. Get in the comments.
Yeah.
Tell us why your conference is so much better.
Right.
It'll be a
Please.
short list if you do. We all know it.
Right. Right. But hey, they got Ohio State and Indiana to hold on to, and boy, they're going to do it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
we'll
Now,
see.
with that being said, that better not be the final in the playoffs. We're gonna, you know what I mean? Or this went terribly wrong.
I think Georgia holds up fine. Say, hey, Georgia's winning the Natty this year.
I think so too. They're the best team.
They are.
All right. We got any other questions?
No. Well, I did have one. Doug Wilson over on TikTok asked me, what does Auburn have to do to fix their O line? I mean, that's kind of an easy answer. I mean, you can go portal, recruiting, but having a new head coach. I don't know what his style is. I don't know much about him in terms of how he's going to, work things at Auburn. So it's going to be interesting to watch what he does there. I mean, he just walked in the door, so we'll find out if they're going to work the portal, if they're going to, recruit hard on O-line. Chad, you heard anything about Auburn O-line at all?
No. I mean, it's one thing to recruit them. It's another thing to develop them, because you could theoretically recruit the top 5 offensive linemen in the country. If you ain't got nobody there to make them better, what good is it? So I don't know who the O line. I mean, look at Alabama. Our O line's been absolute garbage this year, and we've got some good players. So it just depends on who's coaching them up, so to speak. So I mean, I don't know who Auburn's offensive line coach, but they're probably going to get a good one. Hopefully not Sam Pittman, because I want Alabama to get him. But
facts.
You're gonna. It's some of it's coaching. Some of it's going to be coaching. I don't know that you could honestly say, well, we'll go here and get them. I mean, you can, but you got to have somebody to develop them too. So I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword with that. So that's just
very much so. Very much so. I agree, 100%.
All right, is that it for the questions? Is that it? All right,
that's it, man.
We done?
That's all we got.
All right, Mom. Well, thank you for the questions. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and hey, even you Big Ten fans out there, leave us some questions. We honestly like interacting with you guys, even though we throw shade. That's what this is all about. Have fun, have some banner.
That's right.
Come back with some facts and not insults. I don't mind the insults, but we honestly want a conversation. Let's argue. We love it. And that'll be it for this show. For the producer Scott, I am the Chad Bolick, and we will see you next time.